I always thought of myself as a pretty rational guy, maybe even a bit skeptical. I had a degree, a steady job at a small marketing agency, and I dealt with advertising claims every day. Nothing could surprise me, let alone scam me. Or so I believed. I was 28, stuck in what felt like a standstill. Renting tiny apartments, constantly juggling bills, and clinging to one dream, owning a small 2-bedroom apartment in my town. Nothing fancy. Just a place to call home. Somewhere I could finally settle down, maybe even start a family someday. But that dream hung over me like a storm cloud. With my salary, it felt light years away. I saved every penny, gave up things I enjoyed, skipped vacations, and still, even in the best-case scenario, it would take me 15 or 20 years. And that's if real estate prices froze in time. Spoiler, they didn't. The pressure built up. I could feel time slipping through my fingers while my dream remained out of reach. That's when it showed up, the miracle. Or rather, what looked like a miracle. Late one night, scrolling social media half asleep, I saw an ad screaming in bold letters, Investment Revolution. Earn 15% monthly with zero risk. Below it were photos of young, happy people standing in front of luxury cars and beach resorts. Forget bank accounts. Start living today, the slogan said. Normally, I'd laugh and scroll past, but that night, something in me cracked. Maybe it was exhaustion. Maybe desperation. I clicked. The website looked insanely professional. Clean design. Smooth videos featuring experts confidently explaining complex crypto trading strategies and AI-based algorithms that guaranteed profits. There were hundreds of glowing testimonials. People showing off their new cars, bragging about early loan payoffs, exotic trips. It all looked so real, so believable that my inner skeptic started to fade. I signed up and dropped my phone number. Within minutes, a guy named Adam called. Calm voice, no sales-wire pressure. He wasn't pushy, just confident. Told me about their revolutionary platform, the smart tech, the top-tier analysts they worked with. He even mentioned risks but reassured me their insurance funds and multi-layered security system basically nullified them. We help people like you finally achieve their dreams, he said. And it hit me. My dream. That apartment. It felt within reach. Just start small, Adam said. Even $100 is enough to see how it works. Compared to my savings, $100 was nothing. But it was a step into the unknown. I hesitated. I reread the site, the reviews. Googled the company. A few articles confirmed it existed, though vaguely. That didn't worry me. It's just new, I thought. I was so naive. I clicked Add Funds. My heart raced. It was just $100, but to me it was the start of something big. Or so I hoped. The next few days I was glued to the dashboard of my account. At first, nothing moved. But then I saw it, my balance had ticked up by a few cents. A few days later, it was over $1. Then, too. It's working. I thought, excited. These tiny but steady gains gave the illusion of stability. Every morning, I'd wake up thinking, my money's working while I sleep. It felt thrilling. Adam kept calling now and then, checking in. See? We're not promising miracles overnight. Just stable, predictable growth, he'd say. And I believed him. With each cent added, it felt more real. I started dreaming again, calculating how much I'd need to invest to make a down payment on that apartment within a year or two. I imagined myself holding the keys, sipping coffee on my balcony, finally having a place of my own. It felt close. Tangible. That little rush of early profit completely clouded my judgment. I no longer had doubts. In fact, I felt smart, like I had outsmarted the system, gotten in on the next big thing before everyone else. I felt like a winner. I couldn't keep it to myself. Normally, I didn't share money stuff with my parents, but this time I was so proud of my discovery that I brought it up over Sunday dinner. Mom, Dad, I said confidently. I found a new way to invest. Put in $100 and already saw returns. They promise 15% a month. It's not like those pathetic bank rates. I expected excitement. Or at least curiosity. What I got instead was a reality check. My dad put his fork down. His face, usually calm, turned cold. 15%? Per month, he asked, clearly skeptical. Son, that's either a lottery or a flat-out scam. No legit business gives that kind of return. My mom, normally the gentle one, looked worried. We worked hard for every penny, she said. And you believe in fairy tales about easy money? Haven't we taught you better than that? Free cheese is only in the mousetrap. My good mood evaporated. Instead, I got defensive. You just don't get it. This isn't some 90s pyramid scheme. It's crypto, AI, algorithms. The world's changed, but you're stuck with your old-school savings accounts. The words came out sharp, cruel. You're idiots if you think you need to slave away your whole life just to afford a decent place to live. Silence. Ice cold, suffocating silence. My dad clenched his fists. My mom's eyes welled up. So we're idiots? My dad asked, calmly but with a terrifying edge. We taught you to work hard and be honest. We gave everything so you could have a future. And this is how you repay us. Shame hit me like a truck, but my pride wouldn't let me back down. I told myself they were just jealous. That they didn't want me to succeed faster than they had. I'll prove you wrong, I said, standing up. You'll see who's the idiot when I buy an apartment in a year, not 20. I slammed the door behind me. That argument lit a fire in me, not just to succeed, but to win. I wasn't just chasing a dream now, I was chasing revenge. The very next day, Adam called with a special offer for loyal clients. A VIP plan. Minimum entry? $5,000. My hands shook. That was nearly all my savings. Everything I'd put aside over the years. But I was high on hope, pride, and stubbornness. I imagined it doubling, tripling. I imagined proving everyone wrong. So I did it. I transferred the $5,000. And just like that, I was all in. The first month after I made the big investment felt like a dream. My balance kept climbing. Fast. I got daily updates showing successful trades, fancy growth charts, and super positive forecasts. I felt like a real investor. Like I'd finally made it. I even started reading books about finance so I could understand the lingo Adam and their analysts used. In reality, I was just trying to validate what I already wanted to believe, that I was on the right path. That I wasn't crazy. But then, slowly, things started to shift. At first, it was small stuff. The daily reports started arriving late. Instead of coming in at 9 a.m. sharp like before, sometimes they'd show up an hour late. Then not at all. I emailed support, they replied with generic responses. System maintenance. High traffic volume. We're working to improve the platform. It sounded off. But I told myself, big company, lots of users. It happens. Then the withdrawals stopped working. I had a plan. I was going to withdraw small amounts every week just to be safe. So I tried pulling out $50. A test. Nothing came. Instead of a few hours like before, the status just said processing. A full day passed. Then I wrote again. Got the same copy-paste replies. Please be patient. Your request is in progress. I called Adam. No answer. Tried again. Still no answer. The phone rang endlessly. I kept calling and finally, after a few days, he picked up. His voice was different. Tired. Nervous. Sorry, I've been hard to reach, he said. There's a small issue. One of our partner banks froze some funds for routine checks. Nothing serious. Just a delay. Should be cleared in a few days, a week tops. It sounded reasonable, but something in my gut twisted. Just wait, he said. So I waited. A week. Then another. Nothing. Adam stopped picking up again. I texted. Dozens of messages. Silence. That's when my coworker Sirio started calling me. He was the one I'd convinced to invest. He was panicking. Dude, what's going on? I can't get my money out. You said this was solid. I had no answers. I was just as lost. I started digging. Scanning the entire site again. Nothing new. But the forums, the ones full of glowing reviews just weeks earlier, had turned into a firestorm. Scam. Where's my money? Do not trust them. Every 5-star review, every success story, all fake. All part of the trap. The photos, the names, the stories, it was all a lie. My stomach dropped. I was falling into a bottomless pit. I remembered all the red flags I'd ignored. The wild promises. The vague company info. The pressure to act fast. It was all there. I just didn't want to see it. Desperation kicked in. I scoured the internet, digging up everything I could. I searched the company name, Adam's name, though deep down I knew it was probably fake, keywords from their ads. What I found was soul-crushing. There were entire forums discussing scams just like this. Dozens, no, hundreds of people sharing their stories. Their losses. Their regrets. The exact same setup. Same promises. Same lies. It was a pyramid scheme. Dressed up with flashy tech, AI buzzwords, and fake testimonials, but underneath, it was the same old con. Every new post hit me like a punch to the gut. Photos of people who looked just like me. Comments full of panic and betrayal. Articles from financial experts warning if someone promises over 5 to 7% monthly with no risk, it's 99% a scam. I felt sick. Physically sick. My phone kept buzzing. Sirio again. He was furious. His $500 might not seem like much, but it was a big deal for him. He'd been working side gigs to save that up. Now it was gone. Man, what is this? You told me it was legit. I I don't know, I muttered. I'm sorry. I tried calling support. Nothing. Just an automated message. I went to the site. It was gone. 404, not found. Just like that, my whole world, my dream vanished. I remember that morning so clearly. Gray skies. Cold coffee. Just me sitting at my kitchen table, staring at nothing. All my savings. All my plans. All gone. And worse than that, the guilt. Then a knock at the door. It was Sirio. Pale. Red eyes. He held a printed forum thread in his hand. You see this, he said in a hollow voice. It was a pyramid. We got played. I couldn't look him in the eye. I know, I whispered. I'm so sorry. He came in and sat across from me. And then he cried. No shouting. No anger. Just quiet, broken tears. And it broke me. I saw the pain I had helped cause. The trust I betrayed. We sat in silence for a long time. How much did you put in? He finally asked. I could barely speak. 5,000. Everything I had. He shook his head. Damn, man. I knew I should have been careful. But you were so sure. Those words, you were so sure, they crushed me. We both filed police reports. But even as we did it, I knew it was hopeless. These people knew what they were doing, fake names, offshore accounts, temporary domains. The cops said the same thing, this is classic. You're one of thousands. The days that followed were some of the darkest of my life. I couldn't sleep. Couldn't focus. The guilt was heavier than the money I'd lost. I couldn't even talk to my coworkers about it. Too ashamed. Too embarrassed. I'd fallen for it and dragged someone else down with me. Nights were the worst. I'd replay everything in my head, Adam's voice, the sleek website, those glowing reviews. How had I been so blind? Every warning sign seemed so obvious now. But I didn't want to see them. I wanted a shortcut. I wanted hope. One night, I knew I had to do the hardest thing of all, call my parents. I told them everything. About the money. About Sirio. About the fight. There was silence on the line. Long, unbearable silence. Then my dad said gently, Son, we understand. It was a hard lesson. But you're okay. That's what matters. Money can be earned again. Trust, that's harder. But we're here. Their forgiveness after everything brought me to tears. It didn't erase the pain, but it gave me something to hold onto. I promised Sirio I'd pay him back. Every dollar. It would take time, but I would do it. I had to. That scam cost me more than just money. It shattered my confidence. My pride. My sense of control. But it taught me something too, something I won't ever forget. There are no shortcuts. No magic tricks. Real investing takes time, knowledge, and risk. And trust? Trust should be earned, not sold in a flashy ad. I went back to basics. Real finance books. Real experts. I learned what inflation meant. How real funds actually work. What realistic returns look like. I learned the importance of diversification. And I learned to spot the warning signs. I'm still working at the same marketing agency. Still renting. But now I see things differently, especially ads. I don't just look at the slogans anymore. I see the manipulation. I see the traps. My story is a warning. Don't let greed or desperation blind you. Always question. Always verify. Always think twice. Because chasing the dream too fast can cost you everything.